Everyone, good afternoon, good evening for those in the United States of America. And if you're an absolute degen and you're awake in Europe, I commend you. I miss those days. A couple of follows there. Olans, Young Spatula, Wayron, thank you for the follows, guys. Welcome. Rosamund, good to see you. Murnip, what's up, brother? Rod and Ringo, do you like him green?
Pussio,
I'm going to get
My
done.
Little Pickle, Kombucha, D's Nuts. Have a nice day.
Mashud, what's good? Resa, good to see ya. Pab. Taco, Jake, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the prime. Thank you for 19 months, man. Gishi, what's good? Let's talk about London. I actually lost subscribers because of that video. And I reckon it's because of people might think I'm racist
Pussio,
now against
Pickle,
British people.
Kombucha.
Destroy Yon, good to see ya. Nintendo Box, hello, hello. Seymour, how you going, Seymour Biscuits? Guy from a crowd, you don't love the VMAX Special Art. That was a scam. That was actually a scam. That never happened. That giveaway never happened. And it's void, null and void. And that was a scam. Kargas, good evening. Siderman, good to see you again. Sulodan, what's good? Javiscar, a lot of people jumping in. How you going, guys? Taliam, good to see ya. Working from home is the best. It is pretty good, isn't it? How you going, Taliam? K-Brit, what's happening? June, how you going? Rubber, hello. Rock James, nah, you're right. UK is low quality. It is. But I'm not going to do that again. Everyone is a little racist. Problematic alert. You should have tried going Weatherspoons, though, for decent munch. Look, coulda, shoulda, woulda. All right? Done and dusted. The review is in. London standing is where it is. Do I send both Moonbreons PSA at the same time or play it safe one at a time? Japanese or English? What do you mean play it safe? What's gonna happen? Formula, how you going, Formula? Good to see you. Rebel, you feeling better? You wanna know what's a scam? After 400 codes of the same set, Live gives you useless coins instead of a pack. Yes. It does. Bad client. He's afraid Moonbreon is gonna get stolen. You know what? I don't think that's ever happened before. Jake, how you going, Jake Yart? What's happening, Jake? Jake, would you say that we've had a wide variety of streams this week? Jake's been in pretty much every stream since I came back. This is a variety. This is a variety week. Just covering everything at the moment. Shotgunning every single topic, genre, niche. Doing it all. The fact you lost subs from that video despite it being well edited and entertaining is funny. You know, YouTube audience is fickle. They like what they like. They hate what they hate. Now, whatever this is, I think this is a little bit overdue. It was something I was thinking about while I was in Italy. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how this is going to go. I think it's going to be a lot of stop-start. There is structure. There will be a lot of stop-start. And I want it to be that way because I do want to answer questions and see what you guys think. So there's a little bit to go through. But we are talking about Japanese Pokemon cards today because that's what this channel was founded on. God bless this channel. Surim, Tibay, thank you for the follow. Well, I don't think...
Pussio,
oh, actually,
My Little
no.
Pickle,
I was about to say, I don't think the UK is European.
Have a nice day.
But it is in Europe. I learned that. Hey, all right. Thank you for the gifted. You legend. Takeshi. That's cute. Boxkiss. How you on, Boxkiss? You good? Time in America. 10:07. I saw some people saying that 10 p.m. is too late for a stream. What are you, babies? Children? 10 p.m.? Like 10 p.m. is like, I'm winding down. 11:30, I'm going to bed, you know? Better not hear that smack when you come to NYC. I'm not talking bad about anything in America. I love America. I renounce anything I've ever said about the States. As soon as I get there, I love it. God bless America. In Biden we trust. Make it great again. You know, yada, yada, yada. All that stuff. I'll get the hat. I'll wear the red hat. Okay, I'll wear the red hat. I'll get a flannel shirt that's got the what do you call it? The Union? V-Union shirt. But I'll get a rainbow one. I'm just gonna confuse everyone. No red hat? Why not? Why can't I wear the hat? I love America. Make it great again. What's wrong with making it? Oh shit. Sometimes I make myself laugh. Okay, I'm gonna reel it in. I'm joking. Relax. Steelo and Cree, thank you for the follow. Steelo, thank you for the follow. You're legends. Good of you to come down. How you going, guys? Steelo and Cree, I see him over at Twitter all the time. This will be the cause of World War III. Everything is one big joke to me. I haven't been hit yet. That's why. Nobody's put me in my place yet. Nobody's put me in my place yet. So everything is still a big joke to me. Maybe nope. I like that username. Thank you for the follow. Oh gosh. How are you guys? You good? What's been happening? Chat to me. Talk to me, guys. What's happening? What have you been doing? You been collecting? You've been collecting. That's a question. That's what this whole stream today is founded upon. You've been collecting? Have you been collecting your Pokemon cards lately? Chatting chatters. A little bit of chatting will be chatted today. Oh, thank you very much, maybe. Thank you very much. Fonzie. Hello, Fonzie. Con King, I see you lurking there. What's good? Less but yes. Mernip, yep. Always collecting, never stop. Uppish, too poor. Skill issue. Nintendox, I've been collecting. You know, I met Nintendox in Italy. He's he's studying abroad. Dude is running a friggin' business from his dorm room. Crazy. So yeah, he's still collecting. Trading like mad lately. A lot of trading. Interesting. Playing way more than collecting, Sharkus Boros. Yeah, I have definitely been like 70% play, 30% collecting at the moment. I'm going to put the chat here. Down to just Rayquaza missing from my Japanese black and white shiny set. That's epic. Qua, you've been on a bit of a content grind lately. I've seen you. Qua's on a bit of a content grind. They're on the up and up. On Instagram, on Reddit. I see him. I see you, Qua. On Twitter. Twa's tweet got 1 million views. It was like 3 million. That's crazy. A Google translated tweet got 3 million views. Welcome to 2023. I said I'd cut back, but I've been buying more than I ever have. Classic. It was actually 5 million. Oh, okay. Collecting equals claiming on tax, so yes. Bloody tax. Also buying Yu-Gi-Oh collections to help fund the Pokemon. I missed the Oripa openings on stream. You know there's an Oripa video? There's a video where I opened up a whole bunch of Oripa. Probably like $1,000 worth of Oripa that I had accumulated over like 7 months. And I never edited it because it was really bad. It was like, I got trolled. So, yeah. I spend way too much time trying to catch drops close to Emma so I can open. Takes a lot of effort. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Actually, that's one of the things I wanted to chat about. Yes, thank you very much, Pokolotto, who edited the video from today as well. Thank you, dude. Pokolotto is over on TikTok. I'm going to give him the little shout out. Pokolotto. He's a bit of a meme lord. He actually is a bit of a meme lord. Pokelotto, 660 million views. Holy crap. He's clouded. Dude is clouded. He actually is quite clouded. I know that he's got clout, but I didn't realize he had that many views. Dude's clouded. Go. Thank you again, Pokelotto. He's Aussie as well, so he's a goat. Opening anything in this stream or just chatting? We've got a little bit to run through today. I've basically restructured my collecting goals. Expand Formula One, man. Let's hear it. Could you put more VODs of old streams up on alt channel? Yeah, actually, I'll do that over this month. So, like, the Champions League stream won't go up because of copyright issues. The Friday stream will go up. Yesterday's stream will go up. Today's stream will go up. And there's some, like, ancient streams that will go up as well. I'll put some ancient ones up from the old days. I'll make it very clear that today I'm not opening any packs. No pack opening today. So, no packs. Pack opening probably comes back next week or the week after when I get my boxes from Japan. So, and I'm too much of a little pussy to open up that thing. I'm too pussy. Why is Champions copyrighted? I think it just is extremely likely to be copyrighted, and so I don't want to lose the channel. Focusing on collecting things like coffins and arita and not chasing new cards. Yeah, that's fair. Scalato and Violetto is for tomorrow night. Europe stream. I just think anytime you muck around with Japan and like Japan's content, you are playing with fire. It's so dangerous. Japan and copyright laws are insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, so we're getting made to orders for boxes. Do you think we'll get it for more sets besides Clay Burst? What do you reckon? You reckon we jump into the stream? I reckon now's good. Everyone's jumped in. You're all here. If you reckon there's anybody that would be interested in this stream, because it's going to be a long discussion about Japanese Pokemon cards and the Japanese Pokemon card market, then give them the link. We're going to start. Once we start, we're not going to stop. So it's going to be a bit of a run. We're going to get into it. I'm going to cover everything. There's a structure here. We got a foundation. We got a flow. I'm feeling good. I'm back. Last 4 streams, blowing the dust off. It was all for this, baby. Okay. Actually, hang on. I'm not ready just yet. Oh no, we're ready. Hang on. Wait, there's one last little thing I want to open up. Has Poker Guardian been doing their job lately? Nah. Oh. That makes things hard. What does that guy do? Jesus Christ. Bro think he'd Ludwig? What? Do your job, Poker Guardian. God damn it. Hey, give me a second. I gotta like just do their job for them. God damn it. This was big news. He actually just threw a spanner in my works. Is this page gonna work? No. Oh God. I had it all ready too. I think this will do. Yeah, this will do. I think this will do. When I got... Bro did his job more while dicking around in the server, I reckon. How do you spell Clay Burst? Kure. Give me my Japanese keyboard. Kure basto. Kure basto. Okay. It's a pretty good song, isn't it? Alright, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Alright. Ready to go? Oh, where'd chat go? I lost chat. Whoopsie. Alright, did I miss anything? Okay, we ready? Everyone's ready? We're gonna jump into it. Thank you for the follow, DD Jetta. How you going, dude? Thanks for coming down. So, okay. Oh, thank you for the follow, Ron and Ringo. Why is Clayburst only getting made to order but now, but not Snow Hazard? Can't even get both for Emma. We're gonna chat about it. We're gonna chat about it. We'll chat about it. So, for a little period there, I wasn't really talking much about Japanese Pokemon cards. And for anybody that follows the channel, either here or at Twitch or in the Discord, you would know that that's because I didn't really feel like there was much to talk about. It was just going to be retreading old ground. Product was hard to get. It was getting scalped and prices were really high and singles were really high. And for me, that was kind of boring to continuously
Pussio, my
just,
little pickle.
I don't know,
Kombucha.
Maybe whine about. It did actually start to feel like whining.
Have a nice day.
You're beating a dead horse. So I kind of stepped away from talking about that for a little bit because it just felt like there was nothing interesting to talk about. It was what it was. The situation was bad. Talking about it wasn't going to fix it, and it's just where we were. Having said all that, I feel like we're at this point now where there's a little bit to talk about because I think the meta is kind of shifting a little bit. We're at this paradigm trigger, one could say. Okay, I just wanted to put that. I really liked Final Fantasy 13, so I thought like the paradigm shift was great. Anyway, I think we're at this sort of turning point where we're going to start to see the prices of boxes continue to come down, but it's not a certainty for every set or for any set that's come out in like the last 6 months. Let's say anything since like VSTAR Universe. So there were a few questions there about stuff like Snow Hazard, Clayburst, and we are going to cover a lot of that. We're going to talk about a lot of modern stuff today. And depending on how this stream goes, I might do another one where I talk about older sets from like pre-2020. I feel like we've well and truly run and... Jesus, Pab. I feel like we've well and truly run like the whole 2021 to 2022 arc. Like, let's just call it the Eevee Heroes arc. That's kind of like being done. We've been there. You know, it's happened. Okay? So we don't really need to jump any further into that.
Pickle, kombucha.
Aristus, thank you very much for the Prime. Your legend.
Have a nice day.
Thank you for 6 months of Prime. So we're going to jump and stick our heads into this old website, Card Rush. Now, full disclosure, all right? I don't think Card Rush is like the be-all, end-all for Japanese Pokemon cards, singles, prices. It's not the Bible, okay? It's not really like, it's not the go-to. There are better websites, or not so much that there are better websites. I think that the landscape is so like muddled at the moment that you can't really take anything that's listed on this site seriously anymore. And what I mean by that is sometimes prices for cards, sometimes the prices for cards are like, they're warped. They're part of like a market manipulation scheme, which I do think is a very real thing that happens with Japanese Pokemon cards. Or the site itself, I think this is like a thing that they do. And we've speculated on this for a while now. The site is like siphoning stock. So like they're kind of like strangling or misrepresenting how much stock there is of a certain card to give the illusion that it's expensive, to give the illusion that it's very limited, when in reality it isn't. And oftentimes you would see that happen where like a card is listed and there's like 30 units of them. And then all of a sudden there's like one, and then an Oripa goes up and the Oripa has the card in it. So there's this awkward relationship between like card prices, popularity of a card, like market trends, where fans are kind of sitting, how they feel about certain cards. And where they land with Oripa. It's quite complex. We're not going to jump too much into that today because I think that is its own stream. That's its own little discussion. But having said all that, Card Rush is a good indication of the prices of Japanese cards or how much supply or stock or interest there is in a certain set or a certain card. So it's not the rule, but it is a guide. And that's how you kind of got to treat it. Okay? Oripa is the reason these shops can buy these cards at higher and higher prices safely. It's like their safety net. I kind of spoke about this in a VOD, and it was like kind of dug, buried in a VOD that was like 3 hours. I spoke about it for like 10 minutes. And it's definitely worth making a video about. I think I was on the way to London, so it just wasn't on the scale. It wasn't really in the cards. Pardon the pun. It just wasn't really an option for me at that point. So, still waiting for an Incandescent Arcana reprint. You'll be waiting. Yes, there are a lot of tabs because there's a few things I want to talk about. And tabs are a great way to sort of like guide my discussion. So I'll use them. They're great. How are we for like volume and stuff? We good? You guys comfortable? Okay. So a couple of you mentioned this in the stream, and I have been keeping my eye on this until it was like officially announced and we sort of understood the structure for it. But yes, Clay Burst, which is easily the most popular Japanese set of the year so far, is getting a reprint, and the reprint that's coming is actually going to be made to order. Now, this is really good for anybody who missed out. It's fantastic for Japanese players because there are good, strong staples in this set, like the INO card, and not just the secret rare or the special art rare. The actual uncommon is like really good. So it being more accessible is good. It also means everyone's going to be able to get one because made to order means that anybody that orders it is going to be able to get one. It might not happen. You might not see it for like 3 to 6 months, but you're going to be able to get it. So if you want to open it, you're going to be able to open it. If you want to like invest in it, which is totally a thing people do, and there's no point like huffing and puffing about it, then you can do that too. And it's actually quite good because it forces you to sit on the investment. I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. It is basically free money because Japanese Pokemon cards just don't go down in value. And I think because they're a commodity in this collectible world that we're in now in 2023, where the landscape has changed considerably in the last 5 years, collectibles just don't lose their value. They just generally don't get any cheaper than their retail price unless something really, really bad happens, like Pokemon gets canceled or, you know, there's a world war and collectibles and commodities don't matter anymore. I am in that camp. Not because like I have vested interest in it. I just don't think it happens. Zard UPC, there are exceptions to that statement. Zard UPC being one of them. That's because they've printed way too many. But I guarantee you the Zard UPC will go up in value and be worth more than its retail price. It might not happen for another 5 years, but I guarantee you it will happen. I will go to the grave with that. Like, I die on that statement. It will. So anyway, Clayburst, it's getting a made-to-order print. It's going to be open for that made-to-order window where you can apply for it is going to be a 5-day window between the 11th of May and the 16th of May. So starting from tomorrow, because this is Japan time, it's the 10th in Japan. Starting from tomorrow, this little window is going to open. I'm just going to explain it for you guys real quick, so we don't have to rely on a website or whatever. I'm just going to say it with words. Tomorrow at about 2:30 Japan time, it's going to start, okay? Between 2:30 and 3 p.m. Japan time, you're going to enter this virtual waiting room.
My little pickle, kombucha.
Rosamund, thank you very much for the prime.
Nuts. Have a nice day.
Thank you for 4 months. In that virtual waiting room, you're kind of going to sit there with other people that are waiting to get into the ordering part of the website. And then from 3 p.m. onwards, you're randomly going to be given access to the website. That's because this first little window, 2:30 to 3, is where there's probably going to be the most congestion. Okay? After that, you just buy it. You buy your made-to-order box, and then you wait. I think there's different waves that you can fall in. So the sooner you get it, I think that the first lot of people that go through and get it will receive their box before August. The second lot will receive it after August, but before October. And then the other lot of people, no, sorry, let me rephrase that. The first group that get access to this will get it in the first third of August. The second group of people that get access to it, so if you fall in the second wave, you'll get it at the end of August, the last half. And then everybody else will be early October. So that's pretty good. It's a little bit away, but like you're still going to get it. So you really can't complain. The shipping wave is random. The shipping wave is random. Well, there you go. Is it? I should have done my homework properly. Shipping wave is based off lottery. Hey, editor. The shipping wave is based off lottery, so who knows when you're going to get it. Just pray. My understanding is that I'll read it properly later. We'll fix this bit up. Anyway, the point is you're going to be able to get it. Retake? Can't be bothered. So the point is you're going to be able to get it as long as you put your order in between the 11th and the 16th of May. Okay? This is like a little graphic showing you what the waiting room is going to look like. Just don't click away from the website. I think if you're more than 10 minutes away from the window during this period, you lose your spot in the line. Okay? And that's another little window explaining the breakdown of how long this is going to take. And this is a little graphic of you guys waiting to get your booster box and pray that you get your INO. Okay? That's going to be all of us tomorrow. You could be one of those random bodies there. Hopefully nothing bad happens in that room. And it's not like Alice in Borderland. Is there a maximum amount? It's 1 per person. Okay? It's 1 per person. Don't be greedy. You'll be fine. This is really good because Clay Burst booster boxes are really expensive at the moment. The retail price of these is like $5,500. At the moment, they're selling on Mercari, which is a good indicator. But again, like Card Rush, it's kind of skewed because half of these boxes are resealed and it's impossible to tell. But it's selling for about double, which is actually less than what it was a week ago because the reprint news has dropped the price of the box. And the reprint news has also dropped the price of the cards. Now, for a very long time, people that have a vested interest in accumulating booster boxes, Japanese booster boxes, like people that scalp them, those middlemen that distribute them outside of Japan, breakers, flippers, don't want people to know that reprints happen with Japanese Pokemon cards. And I reckon that's fact, right? They don't want people to know. It's all about skewing and masking information when it comes to Japanese Pokemon cards. They just don't want people to know that reprints come. Because when reprints come, the prices, everything go down. And the sets become more accessible. And if you know that, that's fine, right? That's 101 stuff. Everybody knows that, right? Supply and demand, right? The reason why people that have a vested interest don't want to talk about that is because it makes it really hard to sell stuff that first week when hype is through the roof. And hype was through the roof for this set. But you can see how just the word of this reprint, like this reprint hasn't even happened yet. Those boxes aren't coming until August. You can see how word of it is already having an impact on the prices of these cards. These cards, or this card in particular, right? The Ino SAR. Really nice card. Beautiful card. Fantastic card. And the artist, stellar. Kurosaki, she's been doing fantastic work. All right? Ever since she started drawing cards, I think with the Malo and Lana full art, the tag team. Okay? Kurosaki, she's goated. This card is a banger. Is it $1,700 worth banger? Is it $1,700 worth banger? No. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Now, some people will say it's worth that to me. Yeah. What the market decides is the value or the price is what it's worth. And I disagree because the market doesn't make any sense, especially with Pokemon cards. The market is extremely, it's very easy to manipulate. It gets manipulated all the time. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some examples. I've just handpicked a few. All right, I could be doing this for so many different cards, but I'm just talking about some examples to give you an idea. Now, this isn't financial advice. I'm not advising you on what to do with your money and which cards to collect. I never really do that. I almost never do that because I don't want to be held accountable for any mistakes or anything that goes wrong. All right? I just don't want a part of it. I could. Thank you for the follow, Alienette. I very easily could give people recommendations on what I think will go up in value because it is kind of easy to predict. Okay? Once you do this long enough, you start to identify like gaps or opportunities in the space, but I find that boring. I don't want to do that. So I don't want to do it for that reason. And also because if I get it wrong, I'm going to look stupid and you're going to lose money. So that's kind of bad. But the reason why I'm so adamant about how the reprint news will impact prices is because when you go and look at the graphs, and there are graphs out there, and graphs are pretty good because they show you information in an easy to understand way. Okay. So we're looking at the price graph for the INO SAR. And also just quietly, I'm very interested to see how many people get brainwashed or get conned or absorbed or consumed by this picture here. Because you're going to see this picture here of the Greens exploration from Full Metal Wall a lot today. And it's having an impact on me too. It definitely made me go and check the price of it to see if I could find some bargains. So you're going to see that graph a lot. This is INO, right? We're going to be looking at her price graph from release, right? And you can see what's happened. It started really hot because everyone kind of knew that this card was going to be expensive the second it got revealed because the card is ultra playable and the set was really hard to get a hold of. That's a wicked combination, okay? You didn't miss the Dream League tea, not yet. That's coming up. Lola wants to come and say hello. She can hear me yelling in here. She's coming to say hello. She's getting a bit needy. I can't, Lola. I'm working. We need an air vac. We need to get Lola needs to be evac'd. Can I get some help in here? Can I get some help in here? You're gonna have to take Lola away. It's very cute, but she's very distracting. I know. She's crying at the door because she can hear me in here. She's very cute. We're gonna have a quick Lola break, all right? Okay, Lola. Give me a kiss. Thank you. I love you too. Okay. I love you too. Okay. I'll come play with you later. We'll go for a walk later. Okay. You can take her. You got to go now. I'm working. Alright. She is a precious little pupper. Okay. So, where were we? We were talking about the INO. And you can see what's happened. It launches. It's very, very expensive. All right. It started about 160,000 yen. It found its way to 200,000 yen. And then it kind of cooled off. Right. The blue line is the raw price, not damaged. The orange price is damaged and the green price is PSA. So you can see there's like a little bit of a gap. It took a while to get a PSA graded version. But then over time, right, slowly, it's just started to drop. And it hasn't dropped an awful lot, granted, 174,000 and then over 2 or 3 weeks, now it's sitting at about... Also, this is a prime example why Card Rush is not a great example. It's just an indicator. The raw price of this card on websites like Mercari, which is like Japanese eBay, is even less. But you can see it's just started to drop slowly over time. That's because this reprint's happened. So reprints happening impacts the prices of cards. That's just fact. That is just straight up fact. Anybody who says otherwise is just lying to you. They're just lying to you. Okay? Same thing goes for... Uh-oh, big stinky on the tab. Just the regular full art. It's funny, actually. They tried really hard to do the same thing with the regular full art, which started at 87,000 yen. And then just completely fell out. Like its ass just fell out from underneath it. 42,000 yen. And now it's sitting at about what? 32,000 yen? Which is like, kind of, like, that's like right on the line for like, I get it. You know what I mean? It's like right on the line for like, understandable. It's 6 times the price of a box. Would you pay that? Would you pay 6 times the price of a booster box to guarantee you get the second best card from the set? Like the second most sought after card from the set. Curious, Joe, because I believe you spent about that much thereabouts on the Giratina V alternate art from Lost Abyss. If it wasn't 6 times, it was definitely at least 4 times. 4 to 5 times. Very curious, Joe. Cute little self report there, buddy. It was definitely no less than 20,000 yen that you spent. Don't lie to yourself, bud. Few nopes. Just wouldn't bother getting it at that. If it was the most expensive card in the set, then yes. Interesting. But not the second most. A lot of no's. There was a whole bunch of no's there. I know Rubber Yen would. I know Effect Spore would. I know a lot of people that would. Calvin, I spent 50,000 yen on Giratina. You got. But it's not the end of the world if you kind of got with this stuff. Because like I said, it always goes back up. And it will. 50. I mean, I think it's like 65,000 yen. We're going to get to Giratina a little bit. There's cards from 20 years ago that are much rarer and cooler than I know that you could buy for 500. That is a stream for another day. And you are totally right. You are 100% right. There are. It's kind of criminal. It's actually quite insane. It's actually bananas. But you are totally right. We'll put that as like, that'll be like the third stream in this topic, I reckon. It's kind of mixed. I'm going to say it's like 70% no, 30% yes. I'm kind of leaning towards 70. I'm leaning towards yes. Like that's devious. That's quite devious and tasty. That's a bit of a delicious lick. Somebody asked if the bars are volume. The bars are sales that it's tracking. So day one, it tracked 670. This has tracked 50 sales on the last day, 58. Is that volume? I don't think so. Volume is total for sale, wouldn't it be? This is sales made. This isn't listings. This is sales. Only reason I did it because it was a Kurosaki card, and it's understandable. Some people don't care as well. Some people don't care. So I say the people that are buying it at this prices don't care. FOMO only hurts people that care about feeling bad. That's the thing about FOMO. We talk about FOMO a lot. FOMO only hurts if you care. If you don't care, it doesn't hurt. But FOMO just makes you do stuff. But it only matters if it hurts you. If you don't care, it doesn't matter. If you can spend money through FOMO, if you can buy your way through the bad FOMO feelings, it doesn't actually matter. So this is a prime example as to why reprints will always hurt the price of a set and the cards inside of it. The Clayburst reprint, fantastic news. I'm happy. It's good for me. It's good for you. Nobody's mad about it except for resellers. I want to correct something I said at the start of the stream, which is I don't think talking about the price of Japanese cards is going to fix anything. I want to just come back to that. I think talking about it and spreading awareness slowly will, because the more people that are aware of how this operates and how this is a big racket, the less people will be inclined to buy from flippers, which will ultimately hurt them. And that's a good thing for collectors because then they go away. Even if it only hurts them and takes like 10% of their HP bar away, it's still pretty good. So I'm still waiting for the older modern cards to fall off. That's another chat. Part of the reason why I wanted to have this discussion today is because I got curious. I was very curious. I was looking at Triplet Beat and I was like, curious what happened here with Triplet Beat. This is actually quite bonkers what happened here with this set. Well, bonkers in that I expected it, but I didn't expect it to happen as quickly as it did. Triplet Beat, just the floor fell out underneath it. It's insane. And I think anybody who's like still complaining that it's hard to buy Japanese Pokemon cards or like they're too expensive isn't trying hard enough and is getting quite blindsided by what they're seeing online. I don't want to call out PokeTubers. I don't want to call out, all right, PokeTubers, because this is kind of everywhere. But it's definitely easy to think, oh my gosh, it's too expensive. It's game over if all you're seeing is PokeTubers just talk about how expensive stuff is and that's it, right? If you don't actually go and actively do your own research and explore yourself, you will never actually know what's going on. Maybe you're only finding this out right now because I'm showing it on the screen. So like, I'm the antithesis to that. Aren't I so cool? Somebody once left a comment. Someone left a comment a couple of weeks ago and was like, you're always virtue signaling. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I say like one thing And all of a sudden I'm virtue signaling. So editor, cut that out so that that guy doesn't come back and say I'm virtue signaling. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is all the triplet beat cards are super, super cheap. And even if you don't like, even if you don't like, heck, I was going to say, even if you don't like the starters, these are still good buys. If you don't like the starters from this gen, why are you even collecting Pokemon cards? So like, that doesn't even make any sense. So you can't say they're too expensive and there's no good cards to buy when you've got literally the SAR from Meowscarada, Skeledirge, and Quaquaval sitting here at Quaquaval's less than the price of a booster box, which is bonkers, right? And I'm sure there are Quaquaval fans out there, and there are 100 of this card sitting there. There are so many of this card sitting there, okay? That's a buy. That's like an insta buy. That's like the special art rare of the starter, of one of the 3 starters from the latest gen. Insta buy. If you like Pokemon cards and you like this gen, instant buy. This is an instant buy. Like even at 10,000 yen, this was a good buy. I thought anyway, and that's what I spent on it. And now it's 7,000. Am I upset that it's cheaper? No, I don't really care because I like the card a lot. So I was happy to buy that at that price. At 7,000, it's a steal. This isn't meant to be like, go buy this card. I'm just saying, if you're saying you can't find cards to buy, Triplet Beat is staring you right in the face. Same with the Meowscarada, which I'm actually happy is cheaper because this was the one that I didn't buy because it was like 30,000 yen. And I was like, I don't want to buy it just yet. Now I can come back and buy it with ease. There are 119 of them sitting on this website. And this is at the website where they're overpriced. So they are there. Okay? There are a few overpayers. Kygus, you also made a mistake like I did. 16K is still a bit higher for a non-waifu card. Weirin, they will drag you for that statement. They will drag you for that statement. They will drag you for that statement. What's the price of a chase Pokemon card from a Japanese set supposed to be? Like, what is okay in your opinion? I'm not targeting you, Weirin. This is like a general question. What do you think is okay? 2 times? 3 times? It should be $5. It should be free. You know what? It should be free. Why are we even buying this stuff? They should pay me to take it. Actually, they should just pay me to take it. Jesus Christ. Spend some money, you tight asses. You're forgetting the fact that special arts used to be like 5K at most. What's good right now? Yeah, nice one. What's good? What's good right now is only good because we just got out of the Eevee Heroes arc. Things have changed, bro. It's changed, man. It's different. It's different now. You can't quit living in the past, Joe. 2018, 2019 was 4 years ago. You are 5 years older than that period. You gotta let it go. Rabby. Triplet Beat also had sealed events which forces people to open boxes and release signals. Release signals. Release the signals. Release singles instead of having most of the cards held in sealed boxes. Rabby, that is a fantastic point. Rabby does their research. I like it. I like it, Rabby. Totally right. That had a big impact on the singles market. How much did that impact the sealed market for Triplet Beat? Right now, it's sitting at about 8,000 yen. No one cares about this set. It's kind of like done. Now, is there a Joe's upset. I think I made fun of him. He's in a Duma arc. Joe's upset. Guys, don't upset Joe. He hurt his foot. Meowscarada got me acting up. You and me both. 2015 was 12 years ago. That's crazy. Do I think it'll drop more? Yes. I think these will drop more. I do. I will say this, all right? It's not a bad time to buy it. Like, I'm going to pick up singles from this set now that I don't have. That's all I'm saying. Now, is that a signal? No. But it is because I said it and I have a platform. So it's automatically a signal now. Oh, great. Now everybody's going to buy singles because of you. Wow. Listen, like it or not, some people come to this channel for advice or direction. And I can't always gatekeep it. If you ask me if I think it's going to go down and I ignore the question, that's an answer in itself. Okay? If I answer the question, I'm pumping it. If I answer it and say no and then it doesn't, or it does, then I don't look credible. So I can't win. So I'm just going to pick the middle one. I'm going to go middle of the road. JLUV got the content creator money. Do you want me to pull up the content creation revenue stats? They're horrible. Does any of this apply to English? No. This doesn't apply to English. Centrist. Yuck. Yeah, I've gone down a dark path, haven't I? Yeah. A very dark path. Where was I? Okay, so could you make the argument, because this is actually quite curious. I actually quite like this. Could you make the argument that because of the sealed format, which was the tournament in Japan where, and we should pull those cards up. We got him here? Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is great. I'll talk about this one. Okay. So this is a perfect example of how people just get so distracted. I'm actually just gonna go out and just completely talk about this one, all right? Because this one's actually great. All right. Okay. So this card here, this is fantastic, right? Okay, so while everybody was getting super distracted about what was happening with like the special arts of the Pokemon and Dendra, we do have Dendra here on the map here. Dendra is here. This will load. Yeah, so while everyone was talking about this, okay, what was actually happening was there was this little steal, this little hidden gem that was just flying under the radar. And whether you like these cards or not, the fact is these are going to be worth more than the chase cards from Triplet B over time. And here's why. This card, which is, I think it's from the ETB, in the English version, Miraidon, and it's just an art rare promo. And this card, which is a Miraidon, it's not the EX, it's just the art rare, okay? The only way you could get this card was by competing in a tournament in Japan, what they call the sealed sealed format, right? Where basically you open up a booster box of Triplet B and you make a deck out of the cards that you get in there. You play in the tournament, and the winner of the tournament received a pack that had these cards in it. That's the only way that you can get these cards. So you absolutely have to be in Japan. You absolutely have to play in the tournament, and you have to win. Now, there were a few of them, and this sealed format went on for quite a while. This tournament, it was open. You could do it for a while. I know Lol Viet, who we know and love from the server, is a big fat loser and couldn't win one of them. So get wrecked, noob. But basically, this card was expensive purely because it was limited and it was difficult to get. And it was expensive for a period. I think I've got the graph open up on another window. Let's see where it is. I reckon we can do this. Now we can just pull it up. Yeah, this is so cool. So it was expensive for a period, especially when it first came out. 33,000 yen, that's a lot for a single card, especially for a card that not everybody's in love with. I think is really cool, but anyway, it wasn't a people pleaser. It wasn't a smash hit with the crowd. But it dropped. It just continued to drop. It dropped over a period of like 2 or 3 weeks. 17,000 yen, 17,000 yen, 16,000 yen. And then some people caught on and they bought it. And now it's just gone back up. And now it's not going back down. It will not go down from here because these promos don't do that. Unless something really bad happens with Japanese Pokemon cards and people get completely over it. This is the kind of card that just won't come back down in value because there's no further supply coming through. So while everybody was losing their minds about stuff like Dendra, I bought these cards. It was great. It was fantastic. I didn't say anything because I still collect. I just didn't say anything because it was like, I didn't want that. This is me being a good little angel boy. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to influence the market. But it's a perfect example of how if you get distracted by what you see on your homepage, what you see getting shoved down your throat, and you don't do any actual homework yourself, that you will miss opportunities like this. And if you're trying to build a collection by selling cards, which is something Quachancy talks about a lot on their Instagram, then you will not get very far unless you start doing your own homework. 16K is a lot. Okay. 16K is a lot, but when you look at it holistically compared to other promos, it's very cheap for a promo of this kind. And other promos like this over time get really expensive. And then people start kicking themselves saying, I wish I bought it. I wish I bought it. So the moral of the story is do your homework and don't get distracted by stuff like this, where you just straight up lose. Because if you look at the card Dendra and you look at the special art rare and you just wallow in how expensive it is, or you buy it at this price, you just lose. Because what happens is the card isn't playable. And people like to tell me all the time, playable cards, whether a card's playable or not, doesn't actually matter. It totally matters because this card isn't playable. So it's in the bin already for that reason. The character isn't popular. It was literally riding off the high of Miriam. Once all that stuff faded away, it just dropped. Its peak was 97,000. I made a video talking about that. And it's a third of that now. 34,500 yen. So this set didn't even get a reprint. And I don't even know if it is. I think no, let me clarify that. It's not getting an obvious reprint on like the Pokemon Center Japan. We haven't seen that happen yet. But sites like Japan You Want and sites like stores in Japan like Yodobashi, 7-Eleven, they have been getting stock. I see the tweets. You can't buy them unless you live there, or it's really difficult. You got to jump through bigger hoops than jumping through the hoops at Pokemon Center Japan. So supply has been flowing through. It's had a reprint, and it's completely demolished the value of this set. And it's a perfect example of why waiting always pays off. Because if you'd bought in the week when Triplet beat Draw, and flippers and scalpers, I made the video. We spoke about it, right? They were taking full advantage of the way things were. You end up getting sucked in, which doesn't matter. Like I said, doesn't matter if you don't care about the feelings, the bad feelings of the FOMO. But if it does matter to you, then yeah, it'll suck. Card Rush had him for what? 140k yen on day one. Which is this? Is this Dendra? If I was on a budget, I wouldn't buy the Japanese art rare Koraidon Miraidon. Look, the only reason you'd buy it is if you collected promos or you really like the legendaries. I still think they're a safe, solid buy, just in general. But if you don't care for them, then yeah, don't buy them. But if you're collecting every art rare and you're going to get caught up on that, then for that reason, you kind of have to get it. Because it'll be a hole in your collection. I do think Pokemon is much easier to predict than the stock market, but I don't pay any attention to the stock market. I think it's really easy to predict what happens with this stuff if you spend enough time looking at it. Rosamund said the artwork isn't the best on this card, so that also confused a lot of people. It's not great, but it is different. I think it's kind of cool. I like Dendra too. I thought she's like a quirky character from Scarlet Violet. She does suffer from my big gripe with the whole game, which is that nothing is fleshed out. But whatever. I think she has a really cool tracksuit, and I like the chains. Basically, just buy any Japanese card and you win. Not any card. If you bought this card, you lose. This is an example of you lose. Crystal, you love these promos, but the price difference between English and Japanese. It is pretty crazy. It is quite crazy. But if you're a Japanese collector and you think it's going to be a hole in your collection, you kind of got to get it sooner rather than later. I don't think this one comes back down. I just don't think this one comes back down. Especially when you look at the number of sales. Like there's barely any sales now. So like they're just drying up. What people will start to do now is just hold on to them. All right. So moving on. Okay. So another set, let's wind back. Let's go back in time a little bit because it's easy. Can you believe we're already in May? It's already the 10th of May. We're a third through this month. That is kind of scary. We're nearly halfway through the year. That horrifies me because the year started and I was like, it's a brand new year. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Today, this is going to be my year. I don't feel like I've done anything. So let's wind back to, let's say September, October, which is when I think Lost Abyss came out. Now I want to talk a little bit about Lost Abyss because this is where the paradigm shift happened, right before Paradigm Trigger. Okay, this is where everything kind of got flipped on its head. The set before this was Incandescent Arcana, which is, you know what? It's kind of worth chatting about that too. No, Incandescent Arcana came out after. My mistake. That was after. We can jump into that in a little bit. That is a weird set. That is a very weird set. Anyway, Lost Abyss. This set comes out. We get the first set that has no VSTAR or VMAX Special Art. Or do we not? No, wait, that's not true. No, hang on. Retcon that. We weren't getting VMAX and VSTAR Special Art. The last one that we got was what? Starbirth. Yeah. Sorry, retcon that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. How did this go again? So we had Starbirth, then we had Battle Styles, or Battle Region, sorry. We had Starbirth, then we had Battle Region, then we had Time Gazler and Space Juggler, and I kind of mixed the two of those together. Then we had Pokemon Go. So this was the first set after Pokemon Go. That's how it happened. Okay. This was the first set, though, where it well and truly became this thing where there was only like one chase card and everything else kind of didn't matter. And the fact that this one chase card was so good completely overshadowed every single card in the set. I don't know what it was about the Giratina. I think maybe because it was Shinji Kanda. Maybe because it was so damn good, because it is a really nice looking card. This kind of like broke everybody. And this was the beginning of the end. There was no turning back from this, right? This card drops and I remember it being about like 10 to 15,000 yen on launch day. And this is like kind of like pre-launch day as well, when people who got access to boxes early opened them and then were selling them on Mercari at whatever price they decided. But yeah, I remember it being as low as like 18,000, 15,000 yen. When you look back at it, it's quite funny. You really wish that you had more money back then and you could have seen where this was going to go. If we have a look at the graph, we wind all the way back, you can actually see. So let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on pretty much launch period. This is the first week. This is the first day. It hits the market, 15,000 yen. There's a lot of sales here, a lot of volume, 189, 22,000 yen, which is still pretty good. What's going on, Madge? Good to see you, man. We're doing a bit of a deep dive into Japanese Pokemon card prices right now. Oh, they're posting the copy pasta, my favorite. Yeah, this is where I had a freezing cold take. Well, look at it this way. If Palkia VSA is like 7,000 yen and Palkia V is meta, then it'll be odd if Gira is more expensive than 7,000, 8,000 once the dust settles. Sheesh. Unless the set is underprinted, which I don't think is the case. So basically, we're chilling. We definitely are not chilling because it did not settle at 7,000 or 8,000 yen. It settled at 58,000 yen, which is about what? 8, 9 times? So we're definitely not chilling. I don't think the set was underprinted. It wasn't. No. Within like 3 days, this got expensive and we all stuck our nose up at it. I remember everybody being like, nah, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I am spending 28,000 yen on a V Special Art. You will not catch me ever dropping that much cash on one card, especially a card like that. It was a VMAX, maybe. But you're telling me that this is about as expensive as chase cards like Mew VMAX Special Art? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And it did nothing but just continue to climb. It got more and more expensive over time. 54,000 yen. Why did it get so expensive? I don't know. I don't understand. Because this set was printed well and truly at the Wazoo, at the Pokemon Center. I picked up 5 boxes like 2 weeks after it came out. It was like a 5 per person limit. I got 5 boxes off the Pokemon Center in Japan. It was easy. They were there, sitting there for like a day. It was insane. You look at the price of the boxes now. Double, nearly triple. Kanda mid now? That's crazy, man. That is crazy. That's a hot take. You take that back, ZD10. This is kind of weird to me because the prices of this booster box, I think the price of what a booster box for Lost Abyss is now is a byproduct of 2 things. One, what happened with Paradigm Trigger, which was the next set or the second set that came out after it. And 2, maybe because of the popularity of the Lost Zone as a deck in Japan. It's still a very strong archetype. But I think that's countered by the fact that a lot of the Lost Zone cards got printed in VSTAR Universe. So this one's weird to me because it was printed a lot. There was a lot of this set out. It was kind of easy to get boxes too, considering it was on the Pokemon Center Japan. As long as I can have opinion, all artists are nearly mid. Spicy take, man. It's not a hot take. It's just wrong. You tell him, Taco. You tell him, Jay. STF, you green bastard. So yeah, this was the first card that kind of broke the whole... That set the precedent for Special Art and Special Art Vs being as expensive as they were. Because after this set came out, nothing was the same. 50,000 became the norm. It set the stage for the Lugia as well. We'll talk about the Lugia in a minute. A few people mentioned Incandescent Arcana, which is a really weird set to me. And I don't have the... I can probably get it up. I'll get it up. Let me get it. How do you spell... I can't remember what the Japanese word for Arcana is. Aru. I think I can just go... Unless someone's got it on hand. It'll come up like this, yeah. Nice and easy. Thank you. Thanks, Robbie M. You had that on speed dial. Japanese Pokemon cards and the set names always use like... They don't use actual Japanese words. They use like created words. okJLUV would have known. Yeah, that's weird. This is such a weird set. This was like this was a sealed format set. This was a set that had a sealed format tournament. It was kind of like Legendary Heartbeat. So that explains why the singles are so cheap. And maybe there's I kept getting sidetracked from this point. So the dude before brought it up. I can't remember his username, but it was a really base point about how the fact that more of this set were open meant that the singles, or was potentially a reason as to why the singles were so cheap, because the singles were released. Same kind of thing happened with Incandescent Arcana. Now there's an argument to be made that because the sealed formats and the sealed tournaments forces a lot of singles out into the open, the price of the cards and the singles themselves drops because there's so much supply. And then because the cards aren't worth anything, then the boxes aren't as sought after. I feel like there's a relationship there. It's a bit like a chicken and egg thing. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Which kind of explains why this set is only 3 times when you've got cards in it like Serena. 52,800 yen. Very playable card. But every other card in every other card not really worth a whole lot. Except for the Altaria. How is the Altaria now at 3,500 yen? This is an example of market manipulation. So let's put this on the, we're going to talk about market manipulation part of the stream. This card has no business being this much. It just doesn't. No one plays this card. This card is not playable. It is not a meta card. And there are 131 of this card sitting in stock at this website. That's just this website. Now, for those of you who don't know what happened with this card, once upon a time, there was a store called Margie. And Margie decided that they were just going to pump every card whenever they felt like it. And they were having a really good time on social media, Twitter specifically. And I've spoken about this in a couple of videos in the past, so you might even remember this story. Margie just decided that they were going to buy this card for 1,000 yen. So everybody said, wow, that's fantastic. This box costs 5,000. There's a good chance you find one of these cards from it. And it's not even a secret rare, so there's another cool card that's worth money that you find in it too. I will go and sell it. And then there were reports that people couldn't actually sell the card back to Margie. And then Margie decided they were going to put the price up even further. And I think it got as high as 1,500 yen. I'm just paraphrasing here loosely. But basically, it wasn't like overnight everybody decided that they liked Altaria. It was just that overnight, Margie decided to make this card trend on Japanese Pokemon card Twitter, and it worked. And ever since then, this card's been worth a lot of money. Not a decent amount of money considering it's pretty easy card to find from the set. It's not a chase card. 1 in 2 or 3 boxes will have this card. 3,480 yen is quite ridiculous. But I guess that's what it is now. Margie about to sue you for defamation in a Japanese court. Probably. I feel like there's going to be a target on my head in multiple countries. In America and in Japan. Not a day goes by where I don't worry about my life and look behind my shoulder. And the UK, yeah, maybe I can never go back. I think there's a few havers in chat. Is Margie even a store or is it just some guy in his room pumping the cards? Margie is a physical store. I think they started in about 2019. The company itself started in about 2019. There was a lot of money pumped into it. It wasn't just started up by any old random dude or whatever. Like, it was an investment, I believe, by a larger company. Yeah, it's relatively new. 2019, it's a relatively new store. Very careful, Oz will be next. Smack Daddy's going to find me. Where were we? We're talking about Giratina. I think the last thing I said was that Giratina set the stage. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So basically, Lost Abyss and the Giratina V Special Art set the stage for what was going to happen from then on for Chase Special Art cards. And when Paradigm Trigger dropped, we're not there yet. Hang on. We need to go back a bit. When Paradigm Trigger dropped, here we go. Say that one more time for the editor. When Paradigm Trigger dropped, we saw the same thing kind of happen again. There were 2 cards in particular that were very popular and started off on massive highs. The Lugia V and the Candace. And the Candace is an example of like the market trying to fabricate a trend. And the Lugia is an example of the market believing the trend. Does that make a little bit of sense? Let me flesh that out a little bit. With Lugia, the precedent had kind of been set, okay? The precedent had been set with Lugia because of Giratina. So there was belief that the price that Lugia was being listed at and sold for was how it was going to be. This is it, okay? There wasn't going to be a Giratina repeat where it starts out at 15,000 yen. No. I distinctly remember this starting at like 60,000 yen as the buy price. Because we saw what happened with Giratina, where it rocketed back up and it just stayed at that price, the market, and myself included, kind of just resigned to the fact that this card was going to be expensive, and that's just how it was. Plus, yes, Lugia is popular enough to justify the pump, and so is Giratina, but I firmly believe that the market validated what these stores were doing. That's it. Plain and simple. Because if this card dropped at like 10,000 or 20,000 yen, we all would have bought it because we would have been sitting there saying, this is way too cheap. It's going to do exactly what Giratina did. I'm buying it now. Even if 15,000 or 20,000 yen feels expensive for just a V special art, I still think it's going to do what Giratina did. Therefore, I will buy it. The card store says, not so fast, Buster. We're going to beat you to that punch entirely. And just said, it's 60,000 yen. And so we bought it, or some people bought it. And then what happened was it continued, it just climbed. You guys remember that video I put up in November last year? I think it got as high as 120,000 yen. And I think that was card stores trying to push and see how far they could get away with this whole thing. And it dropped back down significantly. You can see it's at 47,800 yen. But basically, I think the card stores kind of set the floor price for these based on what the market believes and what they think that they're going to buy. As in not just buy the card, but like what story they're going to buy. With Candace, it didn't work because Candace wasn't a playable card. And yeah, she's illustrated by Naoki Saito. But it just did not work with Candace. We'll pull up Lugia. 16,800 yen. I remember Candace being like 40,000 yen or 50,000 yen at launch, which is crazy. But we'll pull up Lugia, okay? And you can see, let's zoom in on launch. The launch period, let's say the first month, okay? Started at 45,000. That was kind of like, that was people listing on Mercari. I remember this being like, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for Giratina prices. And they got it wrong because then when it launched at this price, 72,000 yen, 60 to 70,000 yen. And it kind of like stayed there. Hang on, wait. It's lying to me. Okay. That's why. That's interesting. This is new information to me. I didn't know that. Maybe someone else in the chat will know that. So chat, if you know this is, or you think this is what happened, let me know. Well, does anybody actually remember any like 100,000 yen plus like actual sales going through on Mercari at that time that Card Rush was listing it for 100,000, 120,000 yen? Because remember back then we used to speculate and be like, they're just putting it up. No one's actually buying it. There would be like 2 in stock, and then it would go out of stock, and then like an hour later it would go back in stock for another 10,000 yen. Nobody actually was buying it. It was just all a figment of our imagination. Was November 2022 even a period? Did we just skip over that entirely? That explains why you do not see it at that price on this graph here. If there were any sold listings, it was probably bought by card stores anyway. No one actually remembers. Well, the story is that that's what the card stores listed it at. And that's why this is a perfect reason why you cannot take what Card Rush and card stores post as their buy prices as gospel. Whereas in the past, and a lot of the reason why I founded the channel was because you kind of could, because it was a good representation of what was happening in Japan. That was back in 2020 and maybe 2021. Now it's changed entirely. And the whole reason I started the channel, which was because I was trying to bring awareness to price, like the real prices of Japanese cards around the world, has just gone in the bin because the card sites that I used to rely on are now just muddying all the waters. That's kind of annoying now that I think about it. I'm having an existential crisis as we move through this stream. Thank you for the follow, Garandon. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, I'm sad now. Anyway, you saw what happened there with the Lugia. Let's have a look at what happened with the Candace. What's her name again? Suzuna. I'm gonna go cry in my pillow now. It was a scam the entire time. They did used to do a decent job, eh? Candace dropped a good amount. So Candace is the example where the card stores tried to sell a story, but the customers didn't buy it. Like, I didn't buy this. I wasn't buying this for a second that this card was worth this much. All right, well, let's zoom in on to launch period. And it got as high as 35,000 yen. And you're not going to catch me. You were not going to catch me spending that much on a waifu card. Okay, a waifu card. Who even is Candace? No one even knows who Candace is. They don't. No one even knows who Candace is. You show Candace to like... I'm not saying the joke. No, nobody even knows who Candace is. You show Candace to like 10 Pokemon fans and like 2 people will actually tell you, yeah, she's this character. They just won't. Bonesy Boy is the 1 in 10. No, but nobody remembers. That's what I'm saying. And Young Spatula. Now she's sitting at 11,000. She's literally in the bin. Honestly, it's a good buy. I was actually looking at a PSA 10 Candace today, and I was like, you know what? That's kind of devious. That's kind of devious. The cool thing about Paradigm Trigger, it's another example of how reprints impact the prices of singles and booster boxes. And anybody telling you that they don't is a liar. Because the same thing has happened with Paradigm Trigger. It's why I can show you these here in my house. Perry. One of these is yours. I owe you a booster box, Perry Melbourne. One of these is yours. At retail. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Sitting on 2. How does that happen? Patience. There's literally no difference between me having these boxes now and somebody having these boxes back in November. It's the same. I stay winning. Patience wins in this game. Give him the one with Lugia. When I took the one from him, I should have taken the one with Lugia. Opening? Probably not. No. Because I don't need anything from it anymore. I've already got the Lugia. Perry's lucky it reprinted or he never would have got that box back. I do have another one here. The one on my shelf has been for Perry this whole time. I just haven't seen him since. But yeah, Perry's lucky it reprinted. Otherwise, he never would have got it back. That is kind of funny. Okay. So this brings me to my favorite part of this stream today. VSTAR Universe. Which I've been looking forward to chatting about. Because it's a funny old little set, isn't it? So VSTAR Universe is the set that kind of kickstarted this whole thing. That started this entire fire. That made everybody go crazy about Japanese Pokemon cards. This is the set that made everybody care. Where they didn't care, well, they kind of care, but they didn't care properly. Well, they didn't care as much as they care now. Yeah, VSTAR Universe is... it's the straw that broke the camel's back. The cock pack is still overpriced. It's holding on for dear life. I'll say that much. The Pikachu from the AR God Pack is holding on for dear life. It is praying. But there are 62 of this card in stock. It's just not selling. And VSTAR Universe keeps printing. It's everywhere. So VSTAR Universe is the set where this whole it's not reprinting and this is a good price narrative kind of started with any store that was selling Japanese Pokemon cards, flippers, just aggressive breakers. And I do want to like touch on this again. Like, I am very critical of breakers, and that's because I think there are few breakers that actually have a interest in keeping the space healthy for a long period of time. And what I mean by that is, I think when you start a business, or I just think generally when you start a business, there's 2 ways you can go about it. You can go like ultra aggressive, where you make a lot of money early. That's like the flipper scalper kind of approach to it, where you just riding hype and you don't really care about reputation. You're just selling. Okay. I think what happens to those over time is that they just get forgotten. People don't go back to them because they get burned once. Once they get burned, it's kind of hard to undo that. There is another style of breaker, which is just a little bit more, has just like more business sense as well, where like it's about creating a community and a space where people can just have fun together while also making money from it. And you can do that in like a healthy and sustainable way. If you're charging 110 USD for VSTAR Universe booster boxes, that's likely not happening. And then if you're telling people that it's not reprinting, that's also likely not happening. But if you're providing like a good value and a good service as a breaker, and people keep coming back and it keeps growing, you're probably doing something right. So I'm critical of breakers because a lot of them are bad apples. But it doesn't mean like I don't like breaking in general, because I think breaking can be done right and it can be a really fun experience, right? It can be really fun. Breaks can be really fun. They are funny. And that's part of the service side. So anyway, when this set dropped, a lot of people said that this set wasn't reprinting, or they tried to create like FUD around whether it was reprinting or not. There's one JP breaker I respect because they've been around forever. And they've probably been around forever, and they probably have your respect because they do a good job. And they haven't really like jumped into that whole like, hey, I can make like $10,000 right now, but I lose my entire reputation. They haven't like drank from the poison chalice. It's also platform dependent since Whatnot is a circus. Yeah, if the platform lets you break the rules a little bit, you're more likely to see like bad actors. It's not reprinting on PCJ like PCJ reprinted VMAX. But it didn't, but it did, given what it can do in this climate. We'll jump into it. Hey, Primetime Wizard, you bloody legend. What's going on, Primetime? How you going, man? Primetime Wizard. Is that Primetime Wizard, the Pokemon TCG caster from America? Juancho? Is that you, Primetime? What's good, man? Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Primetime Wizard fans. If you don't know who Primetime is, he is the one and only Primetime Wizard, Juancho, from the States. Or he's actually, are you living in the States at the moment? He just recently became an American citizen. Congratulations, dude. It's good to have you, man. We're talking a little bit about Japanese Pokemon cards today. This has been JLove's Variety Week, where I go from catching up to casting the Champions League stream with Henry for 8 hours, to Scarlet Violet, back to Japanese Pokemon cards. So you called me on Japanese Pokemon cards today. Now let me catch my breath. Half US and Philippines. Okay. It's good, man. We've been busy. Been grinding at the moment. Hey, Gazer. Thank you very much. Thank you for the biddies. Welcome back, man. We're talking a little bit about Japanese Pokemon card collecting because I think the market is kind of correcting itself at the moment. And there are a lot of Japanese Pokemon card collectors that are kind of looking for guidance. So I'm kind of trying to provide that today with my perspective. All right, let me grab a drink. Okay, so when this set dropped, the price you were seeing it at was like 110 USD, which is ridiculous because there was about 3 times the retail price for it. And the narrative at the time was it's in short supply. There were people saying that it was like a print error, factory print error, and like a lot of it had to be recalled. And then there was people saying that that one of the waves got cancelled entirely. Then you had people saying that there wasn't going to be a reprint for an extended period. And then like a week later, the Pokemon Center Japan reprinted it and you could buy 2 boxes per person. And you still had people saying reprints weren't happening and that the prices were justified. Despite all that FUD, the price of singles has reflected the reprints. Now, some people were saying that the reprint wasn't that big. I disagree. Who are these people? Listen, the only reason that person is like semi-clouted at the moment is because I said their name. So if the most important thing that ever happened to you was that I said your name, then you're probably, yeah, the outlook not so good, buddy. Anyway, People saying that the reprint was not that sufficient. I mean, I always miss like actual reprints on bigger websites. And even I am able to get stuff. Okay? That's good. This is actually stupid because this is like $60 per box USD. Okay? And that's like $200 worth of Pokemon cards. Now, it's important to put that in perspective. Yes, I got those for retail. I just threw a box. Sorry. That'll be the one that goes to Luke. It's important to put this stuff into perspective. That's a lot of money. To some people, that's like a month, 2 months, 3 months of Pokemon cards. Okay? So, different people have different circumstances, but 4 boxes is a lot. Okay? And at retail, that is fantastic. So the reprint was well and truly there. And the prices of all the singles reflects that. Because I think there's only like 2 or 3 cards that are really expensive. It is basically 3 cards that are like ridiculously expensive. The Pikachu, which is from a God pack that you can only get, what is it, like 1 in 250 booster boxes? 30,000 yen. Alright? That's an elusive card. But even then, I think it's being artificially propped up at the moment. Okay? 62 units. It's not selling. You've also got the Irida, which is super playable though. Like super playable. Plus it's Naoki Saito. Would you, okay, let's just go back. The Dark Undaunted. You like okJLUV? Name 5 of his songs. That's the real test. Dark Undaunted, don't listen to him. Thanks for coming down to the stream, bro. I asked this question before. Would you spend, and someone said, I asked this question before, okay? And somebody said, I wouldn't spend that much on a non-waifu card. So I asked the question again. With VSTAR Universe being in as much supply as it is at the moment, and there are a lot of singles out there and booster boxes, okay? Would you spend 4 times the price of a booster box on a chase waifu? Is that good? I saw Madge say before, I still need the Irida. You can get it. It's not that expensive. When you consider it is a chase card, it's like the second best, it's the second chase card from the set. I want both the Irida and the Adamant, but I'm glad this is my first stream. Thank you for coming down to your first ever stream. The Adamant is pretty based. The SARs in this set are some of the best special arts you can get. Below 1k yen for any decent looking special art is Pog. It is. I would buy 2 boxes and then give up and just buy it. So you'd have a punt first, prime time, which is fair enough. Different people in different situations. You want to have a bit of a dice roll, have some fun opening up some cards. Everyone's entitled to that. I'm not seeing, okay, everyone's gone quiet on the whole, would you buy it for 4 times? Is this too confronting of a question? Where's the dude that said I wouldn't spend that on a Pokemon, but only on a waifu? Who was that? Somebody dig out the excerpt. Well, okay, I'll put my hat in the ring. Yes, if I hadn't pulled the Irida, I would spend this much right now. This is a good buy, in my opinion, considering where this card has been. 4 times the price of a booster box. You know you're going to get it. You know you can just spend that much money instead of buying 4 boxes. You know you can just get the card. If you were trying to master set it, it makes sense to buy it. I wouldn't, but I also caved and bought the Tina for what I did. So you'd been burned. You bought a second copy of Irida recently for my binder. That's gangster. Joe, look at them. They're all coming out. You don't have to be ashamed of your buys. Just say, I'm not going to make too much fun of you. Unless you're Joe, then I'm going to laugh at you a lot. There's no shame here. Buying it's like I said, like FOMO and getting caught up in it only matters if you care. Just don't care. Stop caring about it. Corn King, I always buy. Yeah, Corn King just buys. He buys his way through the sadness. Do you reckon some of the cards will do the same as the VMAX Climax waifus? Gloria and Acerola do be a bit more ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching now. I think they will do the same thing over time. Unless people completely lose interest in Pokemon cards, which I don't think is going to happen because we're in the dark ages right now. This is like historically always the worst time for Pokemon cards. I've been saying this to a couple other Pokemon card creators that get a bit upset when their views drop and whatever. It is like the worst time. People aren't interested. Nothing really cool is coming out. The spending gets tightened a little bit. But despite all that, stuff is still expensive. It's like this is the 27th year of Pokemon, or 28th. So even though we're in like this dark period, in the next 2 years, we're going to hit the 30th and the whole thing is going to start again. The hype train is going to start again. So the timeline for these cards going off tap fits in with the 30th anniversary. I think you just can't lose. The only people that are upset about VSTAR Universe and wouldn't want to buy it are the people that got burned buying booster boxes for 3 times retail in December. And they're like scorned lovers. They don't want to touch it anymore. Should we buy more promo? It's not so much about being embarrassed about overpaying. Budget money is finite and it is a setback if you overpay. I was saving the money for a PSA 10 munch. Look, you live and you learn, maybe. That's the whole thing. So ideally you don't, I don't want to call it a mistake, but you don't make the same misstep again. You're probably a little bit more frugal and strategic with your spending. Pokemon Trader 429, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I want interviews with the guys who were buying VSTAR Universe packs for 40 USD a pack at launch. Yeah, I don't even know those guys are still online anymore. They're probably hidden forever. Rubber Yan, just buy all JP cards, you win. Stop saying that. Marutsol, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so where were we? We were just looking at a couple of the chases there. The other big chase was Alice's Sparkle, which I think is... I mean, I'm just going to put my thoughts here. I think this is the actual chase from the set. It's really difficult to pull this card because it's an SR and you either end up with like Boss's Orders or the other SR, which is the Sinnoh Friends and the Hisui Friends. And I've actually got that loaded up. Or the Professor's Research, yeah. I think this is the hardest card to pull, but its price isn't representative of that. Don't say it. I still need to buy one. I mean, now is kind of your time to buy VSTAR Universe singles. Because it's doing the exact same thing VMAX Climax did. And I didn't really want to make a video talking about that because I'd just be retreading old ground, but it's doing the same thing VMAX Climax did. Nobody cared about VMAX Climax between March and September of 2022. And then all of a sudden it went bonkers. They just sit there. All the cards from this set sit there. Cynthia, 9,000 yen. The gold cards, Dialga, 5,000 yen. Palkia, 5,000 yen. These cards were like 3 times the price at one point. The Charizard is in the gutter. I even thought, and I restrained myself. Even I thought, I was like, damn, I missed my window on the Charizard V Special Art. No, I didn't. 3,000 yen, 500 in stock. I guarantee you, and me saying this is not pumping anything, because I know that there are people out there that do this as a job and know this as well, okay? I guarantee you, if you bought all 536 of this Charizard card and then you sat on it, you sat on them all for 3 years, you would easily triple your money. Easily triple your money. Like, you just would. You would triple your money. You just would. I guarantee it. I want that clipped. I want that to be wrong. Because the clip would be so funny. But it won't be wrong. Because it's going to happen. Because it just happens every time. Make the bet. I'm not betting on it because I'm not betting on it. I just am guaranteeing it. I'm not betting on it because I'm going to win the bet and it's too free. It's actually insane that is 3,000 yen. And it's conservative. Thank you, Formula One, man. It is conservative. All but guaranteed. Sorry, wrong server. Ah. When everyone has the same idea, though, curious. Curious. They don't. No one's talking about that. They don't. They're too busy looking at the new cards.
Pussyo, My Little Pickle, Kombucha.
Counterpoint, though. What about
nuts.
Shiny
Have a
Star
nice
V
day.
Charizard? A little bit of spice. Rosamine, let's have a look at it. S4A. Oops. Sub-Zero, thank you for 23 months. How you been, Sub? You good? Seen you for a hot minute. I should jump into Lucy's stream. How's Lucy been? Thank you again, Sub-Zero, for nearly 2 years of support. You're a legend. Look, I'm pretty sure... let's have a look. Instead of just saying like, I'm sure, believe me, trust me, guys. My source, trust me, bro. All right, instead of doing that, let's have a look. My memory, if my memory serves me correct, this was like 6,000 yen for a point. So it's already gone up in value. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Am I blind? Is it not on this screen? Maybe it's not on the website. It's a shame if it's not on the website. Yeah, it's on the website. That's a shame. It's a bit annoying. It's not on the website. I guess all you can do is kind of like look at the Charizard VMAX, which was 9,000, sitting about 9,000, got up to about, what's that, 16,000, 20,000, and now it's hovering about 6,000, 16,000. So like it at least doubled. I think at the very, very least that card doubles. I feel like Charizard V Shiny from S4A, Shiny Star V, was 6,000 yen at a period. But I don't have any proof, so I cannot go to print on that. Just gut feel. So where was I? Okay, so now I got too many tabs open. Whoopsie. The booster boxes for this, the price of them has been well and truly impacted by the reprint. And again, Makari, you can't trust it because half of these are resealed. Probably 3/4 of these are resealed. Like 4,200 yen. That's probably an already opened up box, but you literally buying here is like the Wild West. But you can get a feel, you know, it's at about retail to 8,000 yen. I think 8,000 yen is just on the crazy side of things. Like that feels like a weird buy. I think we're going to see a bit more VSTAR Universe through this year. But I think once the next high class pack comes out, we probably won't see this printed again. The real question is, why didn't the Charizard VMAX Special Art come out in Japanese? But it came out in English. Oh, there are some, yeah. That's a good question. We don't know where they are. We don't know if they'll ever come out. Okay. So, I'm going to jump to Dream League in a minute, which is the last part of today's discussion. Do we want to... Oh, okay, sorry. There was one last thing I wanted to cover on VSTAR Universe. Sorry. Okay. This just comes back to my... So, when you look at VSTAR Universe, and you look at where it was, and you look at where it is now, and then you still see people saying that Japanese card collecting is over and impossible. like most people don't have enough money to buy all like the hidden gems or like the decently valued cards across all the sets. Earlier in this stream, I spoke about Triplet Beat, and I didn't even talk about art rares, which are like, you know, $1 to $10. So if your budget is like $50 for the month, you can easily buy a few art rares and like add to your collection. But unless your budget is like $300 a month or $400 or $500, it's going to be really hard for you to buy all these different chase cards across the different sets. So you can't say that like, I think the average collector can't say that they've already bought those cards and there's nothing else for them to buy. Because a lot of these cards are like very affordable and they're beautiful looking cards. And they're cards that are similar to other cards that have gone up in value over time. You can look at stuff like the Charizard V, which I harped on about there, 3,000 yen. The Leafeon VSTAR, like this is a great card. The Mewtwo VSTAR, I'm not even the first person to talk about how cheap these are right now, but these are all very accessible cards that are a fraction of what their price was a few months ago. But one card that I wanted to look at in particular was, and where is it? It's the Sinnoh Friends, and it could be this card here. Yeah, okay, Sinnoh Friends. So this is a card that a lot of people speculated was going to be worth a lot from VSTAR Universe, probably going to be one of the more valuable cards from the set. And it ended up being the complete opposite. It's one of the cheapest cards from the set. It started off relatively high, 15,000 yen. But I think once people saw how, not relatively easy, but how frequently it was popping up in boxes, the price of it dropped considerably. And it's actually quite shocking how cheap this is, considering it's a card that is really similar to the Alola Friends. And I know Alola Friends was like, it's much more limited than this, but it still carries the same vibes. And if you like the Alola Friends, there's a good chance you're going to like Hisui Friends and Sinnoh Friends, right? But this card is so cheap that even I overpaid for it. I think I bought one for like 8,000 yen thing, and then that was a really good deal. And when I looked at this today, when I popped all the tabs open to get ready for the stream, I saw this example just jumped out at me as an example of a card that is just really affordable. And then I think any Japanese Pokemon card collector should add to their collection just because of what it represents for Pokemon. Like if you're a Pokemon fan, then you're going to like this card. I think it's like impossible to not like this card if you're a Pokemon fan. Especially because Gen 4 was like the first gen for a lot of players. For most people, there's like, you're either like a Gen 1 baby or a Gen 4 baby or like a Gen 7 baby. That card just makes me happy. It makes me happy too. It's a really nice card. And the fact that it's like not 40,000 yen is great. It's nice that this is a sub $100 card. Is buying off Card Rush worth it for shipping rates to Perth? I think if you make a black ship account and you send like a lot of cards that you buy to that black ship account and then you bring those cards back all at once, it is definitely worth it. Because then your shipping cost is like, say like 40 Australian, 60 Australian dollars. And if you buy 10 cards, then your shipping cost per card is now $6, which is like really good. So I think you absolutely cannot go wrong. You just need to use a parcel forwarding service like Blackship. I might have a referral link. I don't know. But I really like Blackship. So, and I use them all the time. The website is informative. What is the website called? The link is pokercar-chart.com. You can see it there in the browser address. You just need to search the card in Japanese. I prefer Blackship over Tenso. That's just me personally. I think they have really good customer service. There's a lot of different features on the website, like being able to see a package, being able to say whether you want it opened or not, the express shipping option. They have like a really good breakdown of all the shipping options. It's just much more fleshed out than Tenso. And I've used Tenso for a very long period too. So I'm Team Blackship. I just really like it. Am I a whale at Blackship? Yes. So yeah, Sinnoh Friends and Hisui Friends and a whole bunch of other cards from VSTAR Universe got smacked by the reprint in a good way. And again, is just the perfect example. What have we learned, class? Chat? What do reprints do to single card prices? A free Umbreon VMAX to anybody who gets this question right. And there will be multiple winners. Basically, you need to shut the fuck up and buy. Exactly, Rubby N. Exactly. That's right. Reprints make the price of singles go down. I've given you 3 clear examples of it today. Anybody who doesn't believe me or anybody else who says this after this stream is huffing the copium. Huffing the copium hard. There are nuances. You do need to pay attention, but I think you do need to pay attention to which sets actually get reprinted and the size of the reprints. But, and I'm not saying just listen to me, but I think if you listen to the right sources, I'm not the only one who says stuff like this. There are a lot of other people that say it too, that don't have YouTube channels. They just have Twitter accounts or Instagram, or maybe they're in the Discord. I feel like when people say that, they have no reason to say it other than to help others. There is no vested interest. It's not like me saying, wait for reprints is low-key helping me. I'm just trying to help someone else. So if someone says it in a collecting Discord as well, they're just trying to help you. When Opossum Bud says it in his videos, he's just trying to help you. Like, Bud gains nothing from saying that except helping you. It's not that, Pab. I think a lot of, look, here's going to be like another little spicy take, all right? So, I think generally, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say that. Okay, moving on. That takes too spicy. Okay, the world's not ready for it. Okay, to wrap this up, it's a joke, fam. Don't worry. Our last stop on this train, and a little bit of a segue into potentially the next version of this stream, because I might do another episode of this. I might do another rundown on where I think things are at. But I'm going to look at some sets from a few years ago, is Dream League. Now, Dream League's a funny one. This set just used to be so free. When I was opening up Pokemon cards like crazy back in 2020 and 2021, Dream League was like the go-to set for content because it was so cheap. Sometimes you could get it for less than retail price. It was entertaining because it had so many hits. This was the only set that had character rares in it. Back then there were character rares. Now I feel old. And every single card looked fantastic. Like, it's hard to find a card in this set that you don't like. In fact, the card in this set that many people didn't like was Lily's Best Effort, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this card because I've always thought her legs look a little bit weird. Something about the proportions of this card just seem off. Like, she's doing that, like, cute, like, my knees are, like, going inwards. It's just like that, I don't know, but it never really sat right with me. It just didn't sit right with me. The leg is kind of weird, right? Look at the leg. You can see it. It looks like it's broken. And it's not the usual Pokemon style as well. A lot of people say it doesn't actually look like Lily. Look, I don't want to like dumpster on this card, but like, I was never a big fan of it. And I think if you pulled it, you were always disappointed because it wasn't Rosa. And because of that, the price was reflective of people's thoughts and opinions on this card. The price was reflective of people's thoughts and opinions on this card. The market didn't like it. The fans didn't like it, so the price was in the gutter. Okay? For years. This isn't even fully accurate. This actually isn't even going back to when Dream League came out. So this is only pulling data from 2021. So even back then, it was still 7,000 yen, which I didn't like. I thought it was super wrong because no one cared about this card. But whatever. It was like it was a byproduct of the pump. But if you ever speak to Primal Lugia, the webmaster of Poker Garden, he'll tell you that this card used to be like 1,000 yen, 2,000 yen, which is dirt cheap. And it's because it wasn't a chase trainer from the set. No one liked it. I know we're in the middle of the video, but can you talk about the play promo prices at some point? Yeah, I can talk about that. Once I wrap up the Japanese side, I'll chat a bit about that. Can you actually talk about Lily and why the prices for every Lily card are so high? Battle Boost GX Lily sold for 30k this week, and I don't get why. It's a set card. Lily is its own video. Lily's its own video. But I am going to talk a little bit about the funny business with Lily. Because this... I'm about to just lead into that part of it anyway. Not going to fully flesh out the Lily stuff, but I'm going to jump into it. But yeah, Dream League was always super... So Dream League was always super accessible. It was a really cheap set. And then all of a sudden it got really expensive. Around about the time, let's say like 2021, when Rosa became like a huge chase card for this set. And you can see it here, 94,800 yen. So there's one in stock. But the fact that the Lily... All right, we're just going to zoom in on that. The fact that the Lily is more expensive than the Rosa right now is insane to me. I would have never predicted that. I don't think I could have ever predicted that Lily's best effort would eventually overtake Rosa or May. Never in my wildest dreams, because May is just the better looking card in general. And it's drawn by Kurosaki. Yeah, this is a great example of market manipulation. So there's a lot going on with Lily cards at the moment. The summary is it's being manipulated, or there's a lot of market manipulation going on there. Because you cannot tell me with a straight face that this card is worth more than this card, considering what has happened over the last 3 years, considering where this card was priced, like how cheap this card was. And it's not the only card in this set that's gotten quite expensive. The other one is the Solgaleo and Lunala, and it's because Lily's on it. This is a great card. This was always a really great card. In fact, when I got back into Japanese Pokemon card collecting and I bought 5 loose packs of Dream League from a little store in Queensland, this was one of my pulls. And I was like, this card is sick. This card looks awesome. And it's actually got like what got me going back down the rabbit hole was this card. I always thought this card was fantastic. And it was always really, really cheap. The cool thing about this graph is that it almost goes back to the release of Dream League, where you can see that it is. Let's zoom in. Is it giving me a price? 900 yen. 900 yen. All you had to do was buy $10,000 worth of this card back in 2020. That's all you had to do. Okay? And if you did that, you could retire. Because now, for some reason, this card is like 43,000 yen. 40,000 yen plus. It has become another one of the chase cards from Dream League, which is just wild. It's wild if you were there back then, if you were watching the channel back in 2020 when I used to open this up, when I ran out of content, when I was like, what do we do? There's nothing left to open. Dream League? Yeah, why not? If you were there during that stream where I said, hey, there's like a few boxes of Dream League left at that little store in Queensland, I reckon I'm going to buy a few. And I still have those boxes here. Right? If you were there and you bought them too, because I know there were some people that were watching the stream that night that bought some too. This isn't a flex. You got to understand that this is not a flex. Okay? I just was at the right place at the right time. But the crazy truth is, it's not a... How is that a flex? How is that a flex? This is what happened. During a stream one night, little old me, I'm flexing on you. How was this a flex? I just didn't open them. That's literally it. This is not a flex. All I did was buy them and then not open them. And buy them, put them in a box, put them under a bed, and I didn't open them. That's all I did. It's not a flex. It wasn't even smart. His sweater is about to rip off with how much he's flexing. Because now, if you go and look at the price of a Dream League booster box, it's pushing 70,000 yen, which is insane. That's actually crazy. We thought it was crazy when these boxes were 40,000 yen. Now they're 70,000 yen, or they're selling for it. 61,000, 70,000. It is absolutely bonkers, but unless you're actively looking at this stuff or someone's showing you, it straight up just passes you by and you don't realize that this is happening. Now, what I think is happening here, and this is just my thoughts on Dream League. I think every Lily card is being manipulated right now because, again, I just don't think this card is worth as much as it's selling for right now, or supposedly selling for. Like, there's a decent amount of volume here in the last, 77 sales. 70 sales. Like, who is buying? Who are the bros that are buying this card? It's ridiculous. You do know how cheap it was, right? But every Lily card across the board is going up in value right now. I'd have to pull up the different examples. Hey, maybe in the edited video that'll go up on YouTube, we'll see some examples. I'll send them to Mr. Editor. But yes, every single Lily card right now, whether it's like a promo or a reverse holo, or it's like something like EBD Lily, just cards that even have like a snippet of Lily on them are going up in value right now. And because of that, you're seeing mid-ish cards or mid cards. I'll just say it, mid cards like this one follow that trend, and even Pokemon cards that just have Lily in them going up. So because those single cards are going up in value, the booster boxes are going up in value too, and you end up in this weird situation. Now, I don't think this is going to last. I honestly, this is one of those ones where I think it's going to really cool off quite violently, and a lot of people are going to get stung. Do I see it going back to 1,000 yen or 5,000 yen for this Lily card? Not really, no. I think the damage has already been done. But I do see it definitely cooling off, maybe landing at like, back to this 35,000 yen or like 20,000 yen, just something rational. In the long run, I think May is going to be a more expensive card than Lily, just because of the history with that character, the artist, and it just being generally a nicer looking card. But this stuff is unpredictable. If I'm going to give out any definitive investing advice in this stream today, it's going to be, don't buy this card. Just don't buy that. There are so many other cool cards you could buy for 100,000 yen that are not this. Now, do I think everything I just spoke about regarding reprints, trends, hype are going to follow through into sets like Scarlet Violet? This is the last set. I know I said Dream League was the last that I want to talk about, but actually Scarlet and Violet is the last that I want to talk about. Do I think it's going to follow through for Scarlet and Violet? I'm unsure. I don't know if this set is going to get a thorough reprint, like a fat, chunky reprint, the same way that like VSTAR Universe is getting. Clay Burst is taking a bit of a priority now with the whole made to order thing. It is weird that like the starting set for this new block, this new rotation, is really difficult to buy. I will say that cards like Miriam, I don't expect them to come down in value too much further from where they are now, unless there's like a big reprint. This is a card that the market has bought the story for. And so because of that, it's kind of where it is now. Like, you can't go back from that.
Pusio, My Little Pickle, Kombucha.
Hey, Roots. Good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping down. Thank you for 13 months, Roots. What time is it for you, man? It's like dead of the night. Thank you for 13 months, you legend. How you been? My first Dream League box opened back a few years. I got the full art Rosa. You're chilling. You're fully chilling. Yeah, I think Clayburst might have ruined... Oh, you're in the US at the moment. Oh, that explains it. Did you go to Comic-Con? I think Clayburst may have ruined base set reprint plans as well. I kind of agree with that statement. But only Miriam is sort of holding where it was. Cards like Miraidon, which saw a spike, they were 30,000 yen at a point. They're coming down to 21,800 yen. Generally, a good indicator that this is about as good as it's going to get for the set in terms of stock and supply is where like the less popular cards stand in value. When you start to see like all the cards hit what's essentially like a floor, like 1,100 yen, 3,300 yen for Arven. You know, the rare candy gold, which is like a good card if you're playing Guardy. It's a flex. You know, the Iron Shreds. They're not going to get any cheaper. It kind of is what it is. I know they're not that popular, but it's usually a sign of this can't go any further down from where it is right now. The boxes for it are just about double at the moment if you look at Macari. I would highly advocate against buying boxes from Macari of Scarlet or for Violet, if anything. Scarlet may be a bit safer, but Violet is very risky. But only double retail is usually a sign that this is kind of where it's at. Unless like a big fat reprint comes through, it's not going to get much cheaper. Shield had a very random reprint about a year or two after it came out. Shield is the set that has the Marnie in it. It's, you know, Sword and Shield were the two sets that launched to kick off the Sword and Shield block in Japan. Shield has the full art Marnie, the first ever one. And that had a really random reprint. I don't know one person that jumped on that. Got a pretty good deal. So the door isn't completely shut. You can never close the door on reprints is the moral of the story as well. You absolutely can never shut the door on it. You never know when they're going to open up again, when they're going to print them. That's why when people say there's no reprints, like reprints aren't coming, they're almost always wrong. If Pokemon decide they want to reprint, they'll just do it. It's basically what happened with Clay Burst. People said there's no further waves coming. If they want to do it, they'll just do it. That's it. They'll just do it. They'll flick the switch. So you can't shut the door on it. Scarlet, there's only really one chase card. It's the Gardevoir. And there's a lot of supply for it out there. 28,800 yen. So the rest of the cards in this set are really cheap, which is cool. Or relatively cheap compared to what we've looked at today. And the boxes are much cheaper too. 6,900, 7,000 yen. So the Guardi is also inflated. I think if we jumped to Minano Pocket Car, we will see it being a little cheaper. Now we could do this all day just quietly. I just got baited. So many cards we could look at on this website. It's actually quite interesting. Let's just pull up Guardi real quick. What's up, Red Dawn? How you going? Thanks for coming down. Yeah, Guardi went on a bit of a wild ride. So Guardi, the Gardevoir EX special art rare by Jiro Sasumo, the GOAT, one of my favorite artists. You guys know I love him. It was as low as 14,000 yen, and then I think everyone kind of like switched on to how playable the deck was, and it being the only real chase card in Scarlet, resulted in it seeing a bit of a surge. It got really XY at one time, but now if you look at like Macari and other websites that aren't Card Rush, it's like 17,000 yen again. So again, another perfect example as to why Card Rush is just an indicator and not the truth. There's a few sales here. 20 sales. 18,000 yen. So Scarlet and Violet. So that's kind of where we're at. I hope that that was comprehensive and insightful for you. All right. We're going to do the outro. We're going to go one more time, all right? So that's where we're kind of at. Okay. So that's where we're kind of at. I hope that was... why am I saying The Aussie in me is just leaking out. That's where we're kind of at. I know, that's like... No. I never do that. So that's where we're kind of at the moment. Why does it keep happening? Why does it keep happening? I can't not say it like that. What the hell? I can't not say it like that. What in... Why can I not... I can't not say it like that. Even when I was trying not to say it like that, I keep saying it like that. Okay, use a different word. Yeah, that's always a good strat, isn't it? So that's where I think we're at the moment. No. I don't like it. Okay, let's one more time. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Oh, Jesus. Okay, last go at it, all right? So that's where I think things are at the moment. Japanese Pokemon cards are a constantly shifting target. Market trends influence things massively, and you never know what's going to get market manipulated next. But I think the moral of the story is reprints equal lower prices generally across the board. Reprints do happen. Patience always wins, and there are still bargains out there. So if you've just got into Japanese Pokemon card collecting, it's not all doom and gloom. You can find cards out there. You just got to know where to look, and you just got to do your own research as always. If you like what you see today, make sure to like and subscribe. And I may do another one of these. I might do it as a YouTube live too. Hang on. I'm going to condense that. I'm feeling good. So that's where I think things are kind of at the moment. Japanese Pokemon cards are a constantly shifting target, and they're impossible to truly predict. But I think the moral of the story is reprints, they do happen. And when they do happen, the price of everything, singles and the boxes, come down as well. And if you do your research and you're actively looking at trends and trying to predict things, you can get an idea of what's happening. It's impossible with all the market manipulation and other shenanigans going on. But if you've just jumped into collecting Japanese Pokemon cards, it's not all doom and gloom. There are still some bargains out there. If you liked this episode, I am going to do another live stream here at YouTube covering some older sets, so make sure to tune to that. Till next time, you can catch me at Discord, Twitter. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace out, everybody. All right, cool. So that is the stream. That is the big skinny of it. There was a lot to cover there. There was a lot that we were covering there. So I tried to be as thorough as I could with modern, where things are at here. It's quite difficult actually because there's so many different aspects, but I did want to talk about all those things, not because I wanted to make a YouTube video, but because I felt like it was just a good general topic to cover. I do think we're kind of out of like the absolute bad times, like the horror times. A few people said, are you going to talk about Pokemon 151 and all that? I think it's just a little bit too early to talk about Pokemon 151. Have you opened any Clay Snow? Not yet. I still am waiting for that to come. I get the price on play promos that this is only why they have holos like Battle VIP, but everything else is just odd. I think... Give me the sausage. Is she wet? Oh, I can't hold her. Ah, yes. Okay, so China. Okay, China. This is actually a good one. And I didn't want to... I mean, we can maybe like squeeze this into the video if we talk about China. It just has to kind of like come in a little bit later, which is a bit weird. So I do see people talk about China and like Chinese whales pumping stuff. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's kind of like unfounded. Like, I think China's like a scapegoat. I just think it's a scapegoat. It's kind of weird. Like just saying like, oh, Chinese whales, I blame them. Nah, it doesn't sit right with me. It just seems a bit odd. It almost feels like a bit racist. It's too easy. There's whales everywhere, and that's exactly the point. Yeah, that's exactly why. Roots, I've come across some real whales in the UK. There are whales everywhere. Why China whales? Exactly. Like, why is it China whales? I think it's just whales in general. I don't understand why it's just China. That was kind of weird. That's like very Trump-esque. Like, yeah, let's blame China for all our problems. Nah. Like, I know there are whales in China, and I know there are stories of Chinese collectors going to Japan and then like selling their expensive cards or like buying expensive cards in Japan once the borders opened up. But I also know like a lot of white people that did that too. So was someone standing at the front of the card stores with a counter, counting every Asian person that went in and counting every white person that went in and writing down the race that they thought they were? No. So I've heard people in the UK say they're buying cards to sell in Japan. I will sell cards in Japan. So we're going to start blaming Australians? No, I know you didn't mean it that way, Wessel. I know it's just a general topic that you were bringing up. Don't worry. This isn't... And nobody turn on Wessel Sprouts because they weren't perpetuating anything there. They were just asking a question. So, like, let's not make this a witch hunt on anyone. Yeah, I'm virtue signaling again. Yeah, true. I'm virtue signaling. I think there is some merit to it given how the Chinese market has exploded and that market gone insane, meaning there are now new fans with lots of money. Yeah, yeah. But it's not the reason. It's just a reason. It's another factor. I thought the lesson was to buy all 500 Charizard V. All jokes aside, stay vigilant. And if a reprint is announced, then that is generally single prices should come down and normalize a bit. Beware of folks that hype up no reprint for a set that is just printed. Beware the hype train. The markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. No shame in sitting out a set or two. Yeah, like I sat out. Hey Lotto, chuck this in the video. Okay. So I actually sat out Triplet B entirely. I did not buy any of it because I had a strong feeling that this was going to happen where it was going to start out really expensive. And then once everyone was saying how expensive it was and how limited it was going to be that way for a period, but then it was going to come crashing down. And my prediction was correct. So I didn't spruik that. I didn't talk about that. I didn't advertise that. I just sat out and I knew what was going to happen deep down inside. It was like a strong punt and it was right. And now every single card from this set is a fraction, either half or a third or a quarter of what it was on launch. And I can just master set this with ease and maybe even pick up a couple of boxes and try and find the Dendra myself. So that just comes from experience. Purely comes from experience, having seen this cycle so many times. You learn to get a read on it. And my read was correct. I'll get Paldea Evolved just for Meowscarada. Other than that, I'm not interested. I'll get it because I'm a filthy player now. Somebody in the chat said, I'm really loving your vlogs and IRL content. And I got to say, I hope you're still around. Thank you so much because I put my heart and soul into those and that means a lot to hear. So thank you very much. And I'm really glad you're enjoying those vids. I got a few more on the horizon. Thank you for sharing. I mean, I think if you hang around me long enough, you start to like, you can follow what I'm doing. Like, you didn't see me open up any of that on the channel. So that was a pretty good indication that I was sitting it out. You caught the play bug. EUIC got me hyped. I met Roots up in London, and all I was talking about was playing Pokemon cards, and you probably caught the bug from that. I wouldn't shut up about it. The whole play promos thing. So I think that was just a bra moment with like Rev's video and then content creators running out of content and relying on that stuff. So if there's any like hard tea that I spill today, it's that you can usually tell when your favorite YouTuber has like run out of ideas and is just like making a video about something for the sake of making a video about it. And the play promos were one of those. That was, we need something, play promos. And then people like got sucked into it. And I think because he did it, then a few others did it, and that's where it all like got out of hand. That's why people are always like, hold big content creators accountable. They should be more responsible. But you might find that they just don't know because they're not watching everything because they're too busy. Now, are they guilty because they don't watch everything and aren't more responsible? Does that make them guilty? It's a good question, isn't it? I don't like crucifying people these days unless they do something truly heinous. I don't know. It's hard. The play promos one, I think, and Rev even apologized for it as well. So sometimes you just gotta have like a bit of sense about it. And he even said that. They are hard to get. You gotta understand the thing with the play promos, they're hard to get. Put it this way, I have traveled the world. I have played in Europe. I have played in Italy. I have played in Australia. I always go to league nights. I play as much as I can IRL. You want to know how many play promo packs I have? 2. I have 2. 1 in Italian and 1 in English. So that gives you an idea of how painful they are to get. When am I teaching Opossum to play? You know, Opossum used to play back in the day. He just hasn't picked up this current format. We'll do it up in a card party because Possum's going to be at card party. Don't forget to vlog your journey in Yokohama. I might actually have to like pay somebody to film that. I'm not going to have any time at all to film anything in Yokohama. But yeah, you have to vlog that. You're supposed to get 1 for every event you play. If the store isn't giving it to you on participation, they are doing it wrong or they run out of stock. Yeah. But they're hard to get. You have to go and play. And you got to pay to play at those league nights. So they're always going to be worth money. Most of the ones in AU are only given to the top 4. Yeah, exactly. I didn't open mine. Now, okay, so just quick feedback, not to stroke my ego. How'd you feel? What's up, Prof BK? You want to stroke my ego? How you feeling, by the way? You feeling better, buddy? We had to postpone Busted this week because Ben got sick. Hopefully you're feeling better, bro. How'd you feel about that stream? Solid? Didn't run too long. It had to go long. It had to go at least 90 minutes, which I feel like it did. There was a bit to sit through there. I felt pretty good about that. I think I'm going to do the next one at YouTube. So I think the plan is going to be to turn this into a video and make it condensed for people over at YouTube to watch so that it's up. And then we will run this again as a YouTube stream. And in the YouTube stream, I think we're going to talk about sun and moon sets and a bit of some of the anomalies there. and some good examples there, because I think a lot of what happened with Sun and Moon is kind of like undocumented at the moment, so nobody really talks about, like, we always focus on like modern a lot, and we always focus on modern and we kind of like get distracted. And I know Sun and Moon is like modern, but it'll just be a hole if people don't really talk about it. So we're going to talk about Sun and Moon. I think I'll do that at YouTube. And someone had a great point in this video, which was that a lot of modern is super expensive and you can buy like very old vintage for less than or around about the same price, which arguably should be worth more. And I think that's a great topic too. Hey, Formula, what's good? Good to see ya. The alter ego of Formula One man. So funny. Formula One and Formula One man. What are the chances that the both of them are both in this stream? That's crazy. Do I mind having a yarn with you? I'm going to be a little bit busy today, but I'm definitely up for a quick chat in the DMs. Don't worry. I just am like a little bit slow to get back to people. Nothing personnel, kid. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, guys. Thank you. It had been a while since we've done one of these. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm pretty pumped to get back to this sort of, to this flow. People just don't care about the stuff before the hype started back up. There's some real good bargains to be had in that period still. Like a lot of that stuff is like doubled or tripled in value, but there's still some great buys there. Buys that are like, you cannot complain about Japanese Pokemon cards being expensive because relative to the prices that you're being asked to pay now for chase cards, there are some banger cards. Absolute banger cards out there. Will VOD be posted? Definitely. But the VOD probably won't be posted until the YouTube edit of this goes up. So you'll have to sit tight. Don't worry, it's not time critical information. You'll just have to wait a little bit. It'll still be all highly relevant. Yucky. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you liked it. What's next for the week? So tomorrow night for the Europe and Italy, the Europe stream, I'm going to, I always say the Europe and UK. The European stream, I'm going to open up that Italian booster box. I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be fun. And then I might, actually, no, the plan today was to finish Scarlet Violet, but I got a bit of a headache, so I don't reckon I'm going to do that. I'm also hungry. We'll probably finish Scarlet Violet next week. It just is how it is. And yeah, I've got to get to work on the vlogs. I might do that. I'm going to do that today. When am I going NZ? Why? You're not coming anyway. You're not even coming. Should you watch my VOD? It's always worth watching my VODs. My content's awesome. Always watch my VODs. Could do busted Friday night if you don't go. Nah, I'll be in New Zealand. That's me. That was me you heard, guys. You can watch all the VODs over at the VOD channel. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers there, so if you haven't yet subbed to the VOD channel, please do so. You will see a couple of VODs go up over the week. So keep an eye out for those. We're going to do a raid before I head out. Let's raid Gazer Beam. Let's raid Rambo FW.
Pussy.
Hopefully they're safe for work.
Pickle, kombucha.
They're playing some
These
TCG,
nuts.
so if you want to catch
Have
some
a nice
TCG
day.
action, he's either sweating and he's goated, or he's misplaying. But I've just seen Rambo, Pal Day giveaways. So that seems kind of sick. The last official tourney in New Zealand was in 2019. That's pretty crazy. I wonder how many people are going to be there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the stream today. I really, truly appreciate all your support. You legends. Much love as always. It was nice to hang out. If you've got more questions, save them for the next one. I will get to them. Write them down. Messaging them to me. I'm not purposely ignoring anybody. Sometimes it's just hard to catch everything. But I'm looking forward to doing this again. And it was nice to do it. Haravex, you just arrived. I'm so sorry, bro. You'll like this stream, but you'll have to wait now for the VOD. Thank you to all the new follows and all the subs. Oh, Haravex. Thank you, Haravex, for 6 months. Is this a rare JLUV stream? Bro, I've streamed 4 times this week. There was a new video that went up at YouTube. It's just a quick update as to where I was over the last 4 weeks. Talim, thank you very much. Have a good one. Dangies, peace out. How much gelato did you slam? Surprisingly, not that much. I think only 2. I was eating a lot of food. Oh, I'm going to rate in 5 seconds. Okay, I'm rating. Thank you, everybody. I didn't get to say goodbye to everybody. I love you guys so much. I'm going to raid Rambo. Make sure to say hello. Peace out. Have a good one.